Kuro Games finally did something that I have been saying they need to do for quite some time now. I'm incredibly proud of the 2.7 second half Chuyin story. The people who are saying, Smack, you would love it, you would enjoy it, you got to play it. You were absolutely right. I guess you guys do know me a bit well than I thought. Yeah, I just want to sit here and explain to you precisely why I think this story is worth your time and why I was such a big fan of it. It all boils down to what I've been saying, my criticism towards the story always revolving around Rover. Every time you learn about a new character, it's through Rover. Anytime you unveil anything, it's Rover is there. And there are dipshits who don't understand the nuances of a main protagonist being a main protagonist and a story being well-rounded in the realms of its world building and the characters it's trying to get you invested in, unfolding in avenues outside of the main protagonist. To tell a story, you don't need the main protagonist to be there for every avenue of a story. And if you think this is the case, I think your opinion is shit, and you probably don't have a platform built off of giving opinions because your opinion is shit. Yeah, that's Gacha Smack asshole voice coming out. It happens from time to time, but I don't want to really focus on that and debate people on these specifics. I just kind of want to share why I found this very captivating and a very positive thing to continue to do in Wuthering Waves. There's actually a bit of feedback that I had already provided in this one. When I was like 2.7 was always almost a masterpiece. There's this clip of me talking about this very aspect, particular moment, and took a break from oh, you know what? Before I go onto that point, another thing I want to add in is they also completely focused on him and Scar for a particular moment and took a break from the main pro tag story. I'm talking about in 2.7 first half when you go over to Shuyin fighting Scar and it's like a complete different like scene. It's just like, let's take a break from the main story and let's just see what's going on over here. And then you see Shuyin's battling Scar and shit. More of that, bro. We don't always have to go through the entire fucking story with just main pro tag. Take away from his ass sometimes, focus on an entirely different scenario that's occurring. It's cool. I lost my shit when I got to play with Chuyin. And what I mean by that, to elaborate on it, is it gives more substance to the rest of the fucking world. It makes me feel like, okay, the world isn't at a complete standstill and nothing else exists nor matters as I'm going through the story, except with whatever Rover's doing. We're always focused on the Rover adventure and his merry little band of people and who he's meeting, who he's like meeting. And every other character we've ever met is just, it's like they're in a void right now. It's just they're on the back burner, period, like permanently. And that's always been one of my biggest gripes of this game's storytelling. And finally, in 2.7 second half, through the Chuyin story, we are learning about this man, where he comes from, why he showed up in the first place, and how he actually plays a pivotal role in the story. In fact, the role continues as this 2.7 second half ends. Like, they leave you with crumbs of things that set up a future plot and a future significant moment. And you know what's funny? I think that when we do cross that bridge, please leave Rover out of it. He doesn't have to be there for all the heroic moments that occur. I think that if they do this, this story will be more than just a story that's good, that's cinematic. It'll be a story worth really saying, hey guys, you gotta play this story, because this is where the endeavors of My Hero Academia become people's favorite characters, right? This is where the buddy who looks like Astro Boy, I can't remember his name, but he was one of the most goated My Hero Academia characters, and he lost his fucking powers on some gangster G shit. But like, this is why they're so beloved, because the character development occurs through focusing, hyper fixating on their arc and leaving Deku, the main protagonist, the fuck out of it. He doesn't have to be there all the time, bro. You see what I'm saying? And this is how Wuthering Waves can become a much more serious story. Apart from them not being able to kill people off, it would be a cool thing if MSQs actually would occur where Rover's barely even there. Because don't get me wrong, he was still there in the story, but not as much. And it gave us that something else to look forward to other than Rover. It gave us somebody else to be interested in other than Rover. And if we learn about them, he's not there for us to learn about them. He doesn't always have to be there. I say all of this because I want you guys to understand that if you haven't done it, and I feel like a lot of people were just like me, you were like, I fuck 2.7 second half. I'll get to that shit when I get to it. You actually have to do it before you can get into what we're about to do, which is Jinhsi's story going into the new world. Yeah, you're gonna have to do this. It's actually short and sweet. It's only 1 hour long, and it's the first time in WuWa where I finished the story and I was like, damn, I wanted to do more. I wanted to learn more. I'm not capping, guys. This shit is peak. And furthermore, if you are, which I feel like a lot of us men are, a big fan of the wandering swordsman, Hasagi, you know, Yasuo. If you're a fan of that trope, many of us are. Many of us grew up on this type of shit. Yo, you're gonna love this shit, bro, because bro has maximum fucking aura. He is the guy. It doesn't matter how strong the other guy is. He's not fucking with him because bro he's him. His aura level was over 35,000, bro. He's mastered and studied the Wuxia swordsman style. He's got like 5,000 years worth of wisdom in those eyes of his, bro. You learn a lot about him, and you also you get that trope that you're looking for, which actually is on a side tangent truly unfortunate. Everybody knows the wandering swordsman thinks, lives, and breathes a DPS. He thinks, lives, and breathes main DPS. It is such a fucking travesty that they threw his ass inside of some random ass trope and a niche merely because it's gacha garbage and they're just trying to sell you these characters as a fucking bundle versus selling them to you as individuals. This swordsman spoiler alert. I'm giving it to you now. This is a story spoiler alert for Chuyin's story. If you don't care, you can stay. If you do, I recommend you get off. This guy gave Geshu-Lin the motherfucking fade. He gave him the fade. That there alone goes to show you how strong he is. Gave Scar the fucking business to the point where Scar had to run away. This motherfucker's strong as hell, cannonly, and he's a swordsman. Of course he is. There's no way on God's green earth he should have been a support for fucking Galbrina and Frolova. It makes no sense when you consider who he is in the story. Zero sense. But you know where it does make sense? A gacha company just trying to sell you a character attached to another character attached to another character. That's where it makes sense. You see what I'm saying? So like, it's unfortunate because when you play this story, it's just gonna piss you off because like everything about him, even his kit is like peak. But then you're like, oh, but he can't be. Unless you want to get an E3, you want to spend a couple $100, then spend a couple $100. I actually, I want to show y'all this because there's some people on Twitter who are trying to argue this pure fucking stupidity, guys. I'm sorry, I have to go on my tangents. I said I finally did this Chuyin's story. I said I rated a 9.5 out of 10, the best actor story in WuWa history, and it's not even close. My new favorite character, 100% skipping though, a samurai trope character forced into a random ass niche as a support. I'm good. There's a guy down here who says, dude, no way you skipped. When we get a cool male character, we should S6 them to send Kuro a message. Also at S3, he's a main DPS for me. And bro's saying this like this is good logic, like he's cooking here. So I responded back to it. I said, to each their own. I find it pure stupidity to give a gacha company hundreds of dollars to make a character work the way I want them to. Doubly so to encourage more male characters. And triply so in a game with shit in-game, right? These are all three elements. I shouldn't have to give them more money for these elements to exist. They should be making these elements exist in their game. If I gotta give you money for a character to function the way I would want them to function, if I got to give you money to encourage you for more male characters when you probably won't do it anyway, oh no, I'm not doing none of that, bro. I'll just go play another game that has this, right? Like, just go play Where Winds Meet or Ninja Gaiden or Animusha. If I want to fulfill my inner weeb dreams, just go play a whole ass game for that. You see what I'm saying? So I'm sorry I had to go on this tangent. I know it's not like for the story review, but it blows my mind when gacha brain rot shows itself on Twitter en masse and people are like, oh my God. And then there are people arguing that he's not niche. I'm like, brother, okay, man. I'm not even gonna argue, just instant block. Getting back to it, I genuinely think Kuro Games needs to do what they did with this after story with fucking whole MSQs. I think it's completely fine. And I don't even think, I know it's fine. I know it would add more value if you give a break from the main character and you come back to him the next patch or whatever. People are going to be salivating at wanting to see what he's been up to. And the world doesn't stop, right? Main MSQ that comes up next in 3.0, you're not even playing with Rover. You're playing with these new characters and you're trying to wonder who the fuck they even are. And you're learning about these world building aspects and all the nuances of how these things function. And you're gonna get invested in them. And the minute you get invested in them, the second half of the patch, you're back with Rover, and Rover's off doing some shit. You don't know what the fuck's been going on, but you're looking forward to seeing what he's been doing. This is how you make the world of Wuthering Waves, the world of Solaris, more wholesome, more well-rounded, more interesting. Way more intrigue. Do it, man. This quest right here, man, with this fucking man, this shit was a banger, guys. There was a cinematic scene where he's fighting Geshu Lin. And I mean, it was a long cinematic scene. That shit was fire, guys. Oh my God, dude. There was no problems with pacing in this quest. I genuinely think they were locked the fuck in. It did not feel like an after story. And then the last thing I want to talk about is it filled in blanks. We got to learn even more about Fenrico, my goat, who I always felt didn't have enough screen time. We got to talk with him more and get to understand a little bit more about him, ask him questions I would have loved for him to answer in 2.7 that he answered with Shuyan. Fucking Geshu Lin is alive. And we got to see what happened with him. Oh my. The guy who was my favorite character, now Chuyin's my favorite character. But my GOAT Geshu Lin, who I gave up on a long time ago, bro's still alive. Not only is he still alive, it's confirmed now that he really is the Threnodian's host. I forget the name, that's the correct jargon. He's the Threnodian's host, he's alive. He's the reason why Shu Yin's walking around all depressed and shit, doing his whole wandering swordsman arc. Death is like the wind, always by my side, huh? I've had many regrets in the past. You know, every swordsman, bro, they always got a sob story. It's Geshu Lin. Geshu Lin is somebody that Shu Yin, once again, spoiler, if you're not gonna, lock in on the story quest, is somebody that Shu Yin was supposed to murder. He was sent there, Shu Yin, to kill Geshu Lin because political matters, political affairs, the ministry of affairs or something. I can't remember the jargon for that either. They told him that Geshu Lin was like a problem and that he was evil. It was actually corrupt politic, actually, just trying to get Shu Yin to do his bidding, basically be his little soldier. And Shu Yin arrives there, battles Geshu Lin, and comes to learn that Geshu Lin isn't what they were saying he was. And so he spares his life. But what ends up happening is after he spares his life, I think Geshu Lin would have been a pretty okay guy, but he ends up getting corrupted by the Threnodian. And so after that, we kind of already learned what happened there, actually. If we go all the way back to when the very 1.0, when we did the whole war and we learned through our general that Geshu Lin lost his fucking mind and killed a lot of people and he was just on pretty much berserk mode, right? All of that happened because Shu Yin failed to murder Geshu Lin and actually spared his life. So in sparing his life, many lives were lost. And it's so funny because this is the very same argument I'll be making with the main protag doing this weak ass shit where he saves people and stuff. How convenient where they do the thing I've been saying should be the consequence for Rover. They did it in the backstory because we all know how this shit unfolds through main story. They can't do it with the women and the hot waifus and shit, but they did it with my boy Shu Yin. Yeah, in being weak and saving somebody and not killing him and stuff, many lives were lost. So that was so fucking cool because they found a way to tie in a very pivotal and meaningful moment of the story, as well as a relic of the past, back into what's happening now and set it up for the future. That's why I was talking about earlier. And this is something that genuinely can be such a gem later on down the line. Doesn't even have to have the rover in it. Oh, bro, I'm just so proud of this second half of the story. It's a gem. It really is. It was all in like 1 hour. That ass. It was all in like literally 1 hour. Hell, we even learned about a whole nother Fraxidus member that's tied to Shu Yin's past. Knows his Grand Master, knows the Grand Ministry person that's interested in Rover. Another Rizzling episode coming down the line in foreseeable future. Ming Ting is where Shu Yin comes from, and that's going to be like a whole nother area with a whole different story. And I think that is, again, another little like like avenue where they can go down, and they can do a split type of story where Rover's in half of the story and then Rover's not in the other half of the story. I genuinely think that'd be cool. But learning about the new Fraxidus member who happens to be tied to our boy Chuyin, that sets up more like storytelling where Chuyin pops up in the future again outside of his banner being sold. Like I said, this is all in 1 hour, by the way. Really cool stuff. Also, I didn't miss that, bro. Carlotta was simping over my boy. My boy's aura was so fucking slick. Carlotta was like, oh wow, he left in such a demeanor. Oh, I'm horny. Okay, she didn't say that part, but I saw it in her eyes, bro. Bro was rizzling. He really was. He did it to what's her name too? Jellyfish girl, bro. Big titties. I can't remember her name right now. Unk Smack. Yeah, he did it to her too, bro. She was also feeling him. He keep doing that damn Batman shit, the Batman goodbye, where you like talking with him, and you look and bro ain't there no more. It's like, all right, nigga, come on, man. That's gonna wrap it up, man. This shit was a banger. I hope they take my advice and do more MSQ settings like this, where it focuses on these side characters and really gets you invested into them and their story, and then sets them up to continue being a continued story avenue as the overarching story progresses. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. I'm actually going live later on today for 2.8. Speaking of which, yeah, I'll be doing a waiting room stream where we're playing some Chaos Zero Nightmare runs. And then once the 2.8 goes live, we'll go straight into it, do the story there. I'm pumped. I'll see you guys in a bit, okay? Peace, love, and happiness.